All right, welcome to the Eric Tries Too Hard podcast, episode number 112. I am here with Sue Werner of the Baltimore-based punk rock band War on Women. How is it going, Sue?
It's never been better. How about yourself?
Never? Wow, that's impressive. Well, thank you for asking, first of all. I'm doing pretty well.
Wait, let me actually, you know what? I'm unbelievable.
You are.
Yeah,
you are.
that's how I am.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I don't believe it. You're unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, we're starting off on a good foot. So first off, thank you for coming on the podcast. I very much appreciate it. I've gotten to meet you a few times outside of music, which has been really cool, and I'm so glad you came on. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, like at comedy things, right?
Yeah, because we have our good buddy and frequent podcast guest, Mike Moran, who introduced us, which was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up being lucky enough to meet you through. It's the weirdest thing because as we've talked about before, I write for the Hard Times when they let me. But now I'm a staff writer for that, and in comedy, which I'm trying to break into, nobody knows what that is.
That is crazy.
But then but in punk rock, which a lot of people don't necessarily know a lot of comedy stuff, everybody knows it.
Well,
and
because
so
it's literally the funniest thing that has happened on the internet ever.
Exactly. And I agree. And the last episode that I did a couple days ago was with one of the creators of the Hard Times, and I kept telling him as such, and he was like, "If I was in the room with you, I'd punch you in the face." They don't like being complimented. Comedians do not like being. Yeah, he was fucking around.
Sometimes weird about that kind of stuff,
Yeah, and that's such a cool thing about that site is like you and I meeting is such a microcosm of that, as how like two entirely different worlds came together through that website. But so you are the bass guitar player for War on Women.
Yeah.
How now I'm thinking about chronological, because I'm going to ask you about how you got into punk and how you got into everything.
Cool.
But just to give anybody who hasn't heard of War on Women. Okay, good. I had the right person on to answer those questions about Sue Werner. But just to tell anybody who's listening to the podcast who has never heard your band or heard of your band, if you could describe the sound, some of your accomplishments, and kind of like the general punk rock themed messages that the band has, because punk rock has kind of diluted itself in the messages. So I think it's important that your band actually has a point.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Basically, we want to cut everybody's dicks off.
That's why we did this remotely.
And basically, we think men are terrible. No, actually, that's actually not the case at all. Basically, we are a co-ed feminist punk, a hardcore punk band, right? I guess. I actually didn't. I joined the band, I guess, in February of 2013. But the band, I guess 2013. I don't know. Who knows? Who can say what year things happened in?
I'm sure some.
Maybe it was 2014. I don't know. Anyway, but the band actually, I think, had been around since around 2010, and it started out. Our singer and guitarist, Shauna and Brooks, respectively, were in this kind of Bikini Kill cover project, and they actually just enjoyed playing that stuff together, and decided they were like, we should do a band like this for real. And they got the drummer Evan Tanner to play drums, and he's been in a billion bands Cross My Heart, Liars Academy, P-Tanks, The Hidden Hand.
I didn't know he was in Liars Academy. That's
yeah, right. And and he's probably one of the sickest drummers I think I'm ever going to get a chance to ever play with. And I know it sort of started out trying to be really straightforward, I think, straightforward punk stuff, but I think everybody in the band is sort of into stuff that's a little bit more complex musically, and so it kind of went in that direction a little bit. I don't know, it's kind of funny. So basically, the band is as it exists right now is Shauna is a singer, and Brooks, Harlan, and Nancy Hornberg play guitar, and Sue Werner, that's me, plays the feminist bass lines, and Evan Tanner plays drums. Yeah. You can tell they're really feminist because you're. because it makes you feel feelings and your dick like it should fall off. But like the other there was a bass player before me named Rusty, but now I play bass. But yeah, like we're we like the fact that we're a co-ed band, and we've all just like been musicians like forever, and we and we like heavy music, and we like aggressive music. We like fast stuff a lot of the times. But like we also like have like I think really like diverse like places that we're coming from musically. Like I am definitely probably the biggest like pop dork in the band.
I like that.
Yeah, like I'm really, I don't know, I'm really into like melodic punk stuff. I don't know, like whatever.
No,
like,
you do. I feel you on that one.
Yeah.
I think that's where growing up, all my punk friends were just like, the punk music you like isn't punk enough.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
That's probably
yeah.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah, and I think Nancy is probably the most metal out of anybody in the band. Nancy listens to like pretty much exclusively metal and hip hop.
Has to be drop C or lower, or she's not happy.
I don't know. Nancy, some of the stuff she listens to is incomprehensible to me, but but she's amazing. But yeah, I know I think we all like bring something to the band. We actually play in drop C sharp, which is
So does my pop punk.
Yeah. It was really funny when I didn't kind of know that when I started when I got asked like whether I wanted to like try playing with the band. I was like, oh sure. And Brooks made me like Brooks made me like a little like gave me a bunch of MP3s of the songs, and I was like, okay. And I'm like, what the fuck? How?
Where's this note?
This doesn't work. I don't understand. I didn't really understand like the tuning, and I definitely didn't know how to play in it. And I kind of, it's funny. Like this is I've played bass in one band before this one, and it was like kind of like a Ramones style like punk and roll band.
You played guitar before, right?
Yeah, I'm mostly a guitar player, and if you ever watch me play bass, will be very apparent that I'm mostly a guitar player. I'm trying to like get a little bit more bassy, but like it's funny. I don't know how to like like my normal when I first started like trying to learn these songs. Like I don't know if you play guitar or anything like that. Like
yeah, I do. I started with bass, and then I've been playing guitar.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm right there with you.
But yeah. So, but you know how like your finger will be on the 5, and you'll be like, okay, next is gonna come the 7, or whatever. Like there's like your normal tricks that work, but playing in this different tuning, like my normal tricks do not work.
Yeah.
But most of our songs are so damn weird that my normal tricks are things I would try anyway. It's like it's usually if we have this one song that's like a little bit normal, like kind of like a normal, has like this one part that's kind of like a normal hardcore part, and I always like almost screw it up because I want to play it like I would play it like a normal, like in a normal tuning anyway, but whatever. But yeah, we it's funny, I feel like we work really, like the music is like pretty complex, and there's like a lot of parts to it, but we actually like have started like practicing a lot more, so I think we're kind of I mean, we used to kind of practice by touring, which is good for like the later shows on the tour. But I think we've started practicing a lot more, and which I really like, because it's fun to like actually work on songs. We never really have a PA at our practice space though.
Really?
And yeah, I mean, we have one, but like we don't typically use it. Shauna uses in-ears. Okay.
Oh.
So like, and so when we play live, we never have our vocals coming through the monitors ever.
Yeah.
I have like most of us like have no idea.
Is that what that song's about?
No. I mean, like, we read the lyrics, and everything, but like, it's kind of funny to like, like it from the perspective of like somebody like me or Evan or Nancy or on stage, it's as if like we're like this like instrumental band, and there's this like kabuki show happening.
Oh, that's interesting.
Or something.
I like to think every once in a while she's just like, hey, you guys, I'm totally going solo. These idiots have no idea. Like, they don't know what I'm saying. We can't hear her at all half the time. In fact, if we can, it's like, oh, get that out of the monitor right now. Shit. It's
Not that
ruining the
no.
instrumental jam you got going. Yeah, well, that's really cool. I've never even really thought about it that way, but that actually makes a lot of sense. Some of the most productive practices I've ever been to, doesn't matter what band, the singer's not there because we're all able to hear exactly what's happening without I always say, because I used to record bands and I'd mix music, and I used to say that adding a vocal is like adding 5 more instruments as far as like the EQ of the sound. And that makes perfect sense for live, where you're just like, nah, just hear it all very crisp, and you guys can
right. You know, like Shauna, she's good. She's like, she's got her in-ears, like, and you know, she always she always like sings at practice but she can hear herself in her in-ears. We just can't hear her at all. Perhaps one day we will get a sponsorship by some company that will give us all in-ears, but I don't really see that happening.
Ooh, nice.
But you know, that would be cool.
So tell me about some of the tours you've been on, and any like really cool stories that come to mind from those tours.
Oh, man, cool stories.
Oh, actually, before you jump in, actually, I wanted to point out, you had mentioned before, like, you've all been playing music forever. One of the things because my band played with War and Women about, assuming you joined early 2013, just a few months before you joined the band. And I hung out with your drummer for the next like hour and a half afterwards, just talking about like punk music. And it was really cool because, like I said, I'm in a pop punk band, and the vast majority of people in the music scene I've like been around in these past 5 years are people who are a lot younger than me, who didn't grow up with the same kind of music or even the same meaning of what punk is at all, close to what it was when what I recall. And so having a conversation with him was just like, oh, this is great. I'm finally talking to somebody who's speaking my language.
Right.
And that's how your whole band seems to be. And the fact that you're touring with so many of these legendary punk bands is so fitting that like it makes perfect sense. But yeah, please tell us some tales.
It's really unbelievable to me. In fact, it's like, it's almost started to become
laughable,
normal,
sure,
in a way. And it's like
normal.
It's kind of like I thought it would be weirder. If you can understand what I'm saying, it's like I don't know, like for example, like Propagandhi, right? They're one of my, I don't know where I would be if I didn't listen to that band when I was in high school, in like 1994, 1995. And the fact that I get to play shows with them, it's like I was like so like weirdly nervous, I guess, to me. I don't know, at this now looking back on it, like I don't really like know why really, but I don't know, I'd never really like been on tour with like a big band like that before, and no, I mean not like I'd never done anything like that at all, I'd never like played these big shows and like had a green room and a
oh my god,
buyout, and we have like I don't know, there's all these like oh, where do we put the deads? I was like, what does that mean? The deads? The cases with nothing in them. Okay, those are called deads. Okay, I feel like I had to like learn all this stuff like my very
I put them next to my amp, right? I just drop my shit there and pick it up before I leave, right?
Oh man, I gotta think of some stories to tell that don't involve other bands.
well, here's the thing. I've actually had I had somebody, it was on a podcast I was doing, not this particular podcast, but a different one I was doing, and I had a very famous pop punk singer who he just omitted names, and he told us everyone on Warped Tour who's an asshole.
Oh,
it was great. And then afterwards, he was like, all right, here's what this person's name was. Here's this person. So if you want to omit any names, I don't imagine you're going to shit on people, but I mean, you can't shit. But like, I imagine you'll tell more like, so we were partying.
Can I tell the story that just makes me look silly?
Yeah, sure. Tell whatever story you want.
I mean, this was kind of cool. So last summer we got to go to Europe, which was awesome, for like 3 weeks. And we got to play this like festival called Family First Festival, which is like Boy Sets Fire, the band.
Okay, yeah.
So they basically put that on. And I was like, that's a funny name for a festival, right? If this festival were in America, it would be probably called something different, But
it sounded like it just the name of it sounds like it's some like Christian right wing.
Exactly, right? Like, But anyway, Family First Festival. But it was in Cologne, Germany. It was like it was amazing. It was like one of the funnest days of my life on tour.
Yeah.
It was like this gigantic, like 5,000 capacity venue, and like the tickets like sold out like months in advance, and they were going for like €100 on eBay. If you can believe that shit. Anyway, I know, right?
Euro's pretty
and like,
strong.
and like, so like, you know, Boys That's Fire was playing, and like we were playing, and also Chuck Reagan was playing.
Yeah.
And well, I kind of like love hot water music and stuff.
Yeah.
And I never met Chuck Reagan before, and I was like pretty like, I don't know. I was like, all right, I gotta be cool. I gotta be cool. Like, I'm not gonna be starstruck. I'm just gonna be regular, you know, just gonna be regular. And I like saw him early in the day, and I was like, oh hey, I'm Sue. You know, it's really nice to meet you. He's like, okay, yeah, cool. I'm Chuck. I'm really looking forward to see your band. I'm like, I'm looking forward to seeing your band. You know, all the blah 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 crap you have to say. You know, and then you know, after we played, like me and Nancy were like, maybe like we may have been doing shots in our dressing room, and Chuck Reagan was like, I heard somebody's doing shots. And he came in and did a shot. And that was cool. But I was still totally cool, even though I was like, holy shit, I can't believe I just did shots with Chuck Reagan. Anyway, everything was great until like later in the, like it was getting towards the end of the night, and I might have had a little bit to drink, and I just couldn't help myself. I was like, hey Chuck, just real quick, I just wanted to tell you, and I knew what I was saying when I was saying this. I was like, Chuck, I just wanted to tell you that when I saw Hot Water Music, it changed everything for me. And I could just see his like eyes glaze over, you know. And it's hard though. It's hard not to like be a like fan person, you know, like even if you like really want to be, you know, like it's, absolutely. I guess it's better not to be, you know, like.
And to be fair, well, that's true. To be fair though, it's like, I know, I don't know. It's almost like I want to be like, oh yeah, he just sees you as a fan now. But it's like, the truth is, that's not necessarily the case. And if it was, I think it'd be like his fault. Like if for some reason that lost respect. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he actually thought that. He probably was like, he probably had that reaction of, just like you said, now it's kind of normal that you guys are playing with these bigger bands. You got exposed to it, so you're more comfortable.
Right.
With him, he's just still exposed to tuning out when he hears that. Sure. He tuned out for 3 seconds, and you know he's got like a picture of you in his house, and he's longingly staring at it right now, just holding his hands out, pretending to caress your cheek.
Oh man, he is like breathtakingly handsome. It's like really crazy. But anyway, I'm not. This is not the Chuck Reagan, you know, fangirl podcast though. However, I'm starting that one
next week. Yeah, that's damn it. Very good call. Oh, speaking of starting things, are you? I think it was the first time we met, and you mentioned some kind of zine you were thinking of starting. Is that a real idea, or say it again?
It's either like basically Sue's Cougar Beat.
Cougar Beat instead of Tiger Beat is amazing.
Or like Sue's Sweet Dudes, basically, you know. Yeah, and I actually like, I haven't. Yeah, I'm working on it. I haven't actually produced much yet, except for just like writing lists of like who I need to like interview for it.
Yeah.
Which is like basically 90% of the work. If you know. Anyway, but like basically, you know, I kind of like I want to like, I don't know, kind of highlight male identified people that I've met along my way of being in a feminist band that are like awesome and like really supportive, good allies, you know. And and also and I think it would be funny to do like a kind of Tiger Beat style thing, like, you know, what's your like a top 10 list, amazing. And you know, and like you're like, what's your perfect date, you know, and like
and you really could, like, if you want to get down to like the real like interview kind of stuff, you could like mix and match and be like, and have some like very poignant question about culture and philosophy in the modern age, and then be like, what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Right. Well, what's your favorite ice cream, Eric?
As a vegan, actually, I'm just kidding. No, I don't. I ate a bacon cheeseburger today. I have no.
Okay. You can't even think about you can't even think about ice cream right now.
No, I mean, I can't even think about veganism right now.
Oh, okay.
No, I never want it. I don't want any accidental praise for because I have no self-control.
Gotcha.
Shit. You know what? I like ice cream novelties.
Yeah. Oh, what's your favorite ice cream novelty?
Right now, I'm on a drumstick kick.
Oh, nice. I like
that's my jam.
drumstick.
What about you? What about you?
I
What's
like
your
taco
jam?
tacos.
Oh, I got a box of Choco Tacos, and they were all stale, and I got
What?
really upset.
That's
'cause I hadn't
fucking
had 'em.
garbage.
I know. I ate them all, but that's
Of course you did. I mean, like, seriously, even a stale Choco Taco is still pretty good, right?
oh, it's a fucking Choco Taco. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
come
fucking
on.
Choco Taco.
That was the $2 item in when I was in elementary school because
Okay.
they were the most expensive
That's
of all the
kind of a
things.
lot. I feel like that's like that's right. That's like retail price.
It is general. They don't listen. Waverly Elementary School in Ellicott City, Maryland. They didn't
Oh,
fuck around
man.
when it came to prices. Their overheads were off the charts.
Oh, so you're a Baltimore, like a person from this area forever, huh?
Yeah, but anyone who's from Baltimore would never say that about. I'm from like if you have you watched The Wire?
Yes.
So The Wire, they refer to people from like I grew up maybe 10 miles down one road, down Route 40, from where all of that is based. And so like they call it, like in the show, they call it the country.
Yeah.
And which like the joke is, oh, that's actually the county, but that's what they're referring to, like directly where I lived. But it was cool because I got to go in high school. I got to go to places like the Auto Bar and the Sidebar, and I saw like from 2000 to 2004. I was at the Anti-Flag Terror State Release show. Like,
oh dang!
And I saw a Leftover Crack play the Sidebar.
Oh my goodness!
For, whatever that was, 2002, like right when they started.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really amazing, like kind of just being a part of that scene, especially.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if you have any thoughts on this. I am fascinated by the impact that that 9/11 had on like punk rock and the instant uptick in political punk that got very popular with both 9/11, where people in my theory is people started paying attention to politics across the board.
Yeah.
And so what music talks about politics is punk. Punk bands all of a sudden get all this like recognition, and then going forward, you still have George Bush and you have the Iraq War. And now all of a sudden there's all these hot button topics that punks have. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but
that's actually really interesting. And like, I kind of like wish I had more thoughts on that, because the thing is, I was like right around the time of 9/11, slightly after, but like really, I kind of like checked out a little bit before that. And like, I checked out officially of punk in like 2000, in like January 2003, let's say.
Yeah, the month.
Yeah.
The month.
Yeah. No, I know. And like, but before that, I was still playing in bands and playing shows, but I had just moved to New York from New Brunswick, New Jersey, which is like, New Brunswick was such a cool, supportive punk scene, lots of basement shows and lots of like DIY stuff and lots of like people supporting each other and like, you know, and then I moved to New York and it was like real different. Okay. And like, and I don't know.
Like
I kind of
exclusive,
like,
kind of not inclusive.
No, it's just like there wasn't at that time, at least like I couldn't, if there was like a cohesive like punk scene, like I didn't know what it was, you know, because like I was playing in a band. I was playing in this band, the Shemps, at that time. We were like kind of like a garage punk band, but like, you know, like we played.
Well, I was gonna say garage punk. It was the Strokes, the Hives, the whatever. It was all garage punk. Yeah,
sure. The thing is, I liked that stuff. You know, I remember like
me too.
I actually like I worked at like a .com starting in like 2000. You know, yeah, I know it's cool. Yeah, but for like the year that I worked there before we all got fucking laid off. But no, it was great. We had like massages and, you know, sushi and like, you know, all that stuff that.
No wonder you quit punk. You're like this.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like, you know, and I was, you know, I was like a Java programmer. I'm like, you know, like whatever. I'm like, and I was listening to like WFMU on the internet. You know, that one of the cool things about WFMU was like they were like one of the first stations just like live stream everything and archive everything.
Smart.
You had to have like
very smart.
Yeah, I know. And you had to have like real audio or whatever to do it. Remember that? Real player.
Well, I remember real audio. I still have it on my old computer. Anyway, yeah, keep going. That's
like,
fascinating.
I remember I was like there. I don't remember like whose show it was, but I was like listening to somebody they're like, okay, they're doing an in studio with this new band, The Strokes. And I was like, so cool. Holy shit, this is amazing. I was like, this is awesome. Like, this was way before the record came out. And I was like, I liked them so much that I wrote them a letter, because that's what I did back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't write me back, but I was just like psyched that
Dear Sue, get an email address.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, I actually wrote them an email too, but I sent them. I actually I sent a letter to I found their website, and I sent a letter to their management company on there. I did, they probably never got it, but whatever. It was
Julian,
it
can
wasn't
I wear your jacket?
I just like writing letters. Writing letters never. It always worked out good for me. If I liked a band, I'd write them a letter. And I still do that stuff. Well, I don't actually.
If anyone ever wrote me a letter in the mail, I'd write back. I don't know who you are or why you're writing me, but I would write you back. It's I believe it.
I feel like, if I like something, I try to tell the person, I don't know, whatever, but I've gotten it's never worked out bad.
You bring up a very good point. This will be a total tangent, and I want to get back because what you're saying is so interesting. I always think about, from the bands that I like, and I try to impress this on other people, how would that band that you like know that you like them? Did you, sure, maybe if you bought something from them, great, then they may not know that you personally were touched by their art, but at least you're helping their career. Right. Maybe you saw them at a show and whatever, all that stuff. But there's so many people who just listen to a band, download the record without buying it, or even from a place where they have the stats to know who's buying the records. And then there's it could be, I know people who have bands that have changed their lives, saved their lives, mean everything to them. The bands have no tangible way of having any idea they had an impact on them. So I'm always encouraging, even if it's something like writing an email, let them know. That means so much.
I would definitely agree with that. I think, getting just any kind of personal note, it doesn't have to be your life story, or whatever, any kind of.
It probably shouldn't be.
Yeah, it probably shouldn't be, actually. Yeah. But no, it was cool. Honestly, when here's another quick little tangent, but this is something that Warren Women did that I liked. When our record was about to come, when our full length was about to come out, we were on tour somewhere, and Shauna had bought all these old postcards from a thrift store, tons of them. Okay. And she handed us each a stack. Okay. And she was like, write something on these. They're going in the pre-orders.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So she didn't care what we wrote, as long as we wrote something. Basically, I would just write what I was doing at that moment. I'd be like, hello, it's Sue. I am in the van. Evan is snoring. We're listening to Longmont Potion Castle. Have you heard of Longmont Potion Castle? You should listen to it. It's really funny. All right. Thanks for buying our record. You're awesome. Love to. Yeah. That type of stuff, and then those went in with all the records. And I thought that was really cool, And I love it when bands do that type of thing,
All we did for our pre-orders like that was we just tried to troll people with the return addresses, and we put a fake address for a mail order bride thing on it, or we put just some stupid thing from Mordor, from Vandalay Industries, and we were
That's awesome.
Okay, so you're still in New York, because I'm gonna jump way back earlier soon. So you're still in New York. You're working
I'm listening to the Strokes, and I'm like, this is amazing, and then I after as soon, and then I waited for that show to go up on the archives. Right, which it did a couple days later, and then I found out some, I'm kind of a computer nerd, so it wasn't that hard, but some way to because you're not really supposed to record off of the archives, because it was a stream, but I found some way to record it, and I recorded it and put it on a CD, and I copied it, made a bunch of copies of it, and gave it out to a bunch of my friends. I was like, check out this new band, okay? And it was the
best
live.
Music fan ever.
It was the live playing, right? And then. I went to go see him once at the Mercury Lounge, okay? Right after that, and it was amazing. And then I went to go see them shortly after that at the Bowery Ballroom, and it fucking sucked, because I think something had happened. There had been some press release or something, and instead of being regular a-holes in the crowd, it was all people in suits and fancy people, and I was like, oh shit, this band is not. And they also fucking sucked that night. I thought they played super slow, and were super.
Oh, that's the worst.
you know? And like,
Yeah.
when I saw them at the Mercury Lounge, like, you know, a month before, they were like cool and energetic, but they looked so bored and like, I don't know. And it just bummed me out hugely, you know? And then the record came out and I thought it was too slow, whatever. Still liked it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know?
Well, no, yeah, me too. This is it as one of like, I feel like I always say this. I think you as a musician would understand. I'll tell people like, yeah, that's one of my favorite 100 albums. And they're like, well, who even has 100 favorite albums? And I'm like, to me, that's a big deal. It's a big deal to be in that top 100.
Dude, for real. No, totally. Like, oh man. Yeah, I'm
So
just looking over my record collection here, which needs to be smaller. But like,
did you you can put that on a hard drive?
Oh, dude, trust me.
I know. I'm not going to get an argument.
No. I've been trying to go through my record collection to sell it but I want to just pull out the stuff I definitely want to keep. But even that is really hard because I can think of a good reason to hang on to every damn thing in there.
I'm an emotional pack rat with everything. Right? Like,
I know. Like,
I throw stuff away that's actually valuable, but I keep like the dumbest stuff.
Yeah. Same exact thing. You know, like why do I really need this? Am I really going to listen to this Bold record again? Like, I mean, I might, but do I need it on vinyl? You know, I mean, do I need
both the deluxe and the
you know, like.
Yeah. Now, so how did you make it back from New York to? Did you go right from New York to Baltimore, or did you go back to New Jersey?
I moved to DC after,
and
I lived in DC from like 2003 to 2008. Not recommended.
Okay. Oh, really?
DC is better now. I also like I said, I was checked out of punk. I was like on indefinite hiatus.
And what was there a reason, and what were you doing? And those same years, not same years, a little like shifted a couple years. There was like 5 years. Punk was just not in my life.
I don't know. It's kind of like punk is like weird in the way that like, I mean, at least the way I felt back then, is if you're not like paying attention, if you don't like have your ear to the ground, so to speak, you're not going to hear about anything. You know, it's not like
that's true.
I mean, that's not. I mean, like, also those were kind of the days before like you would just see a bunch of shit on Facebook. You know, like maybe it would be different now. You know, but like I don't know. Like I didn't feel like a part of any kind of like scene, and that was always really important to me. You know, like being a part of a scene, and I was like I kind of like failed at weaseling my way into like any kind of New York punk scene, if there even like really was one at that time. Like I said, I was in bands like playing cool shows, but like I don't know what, you know, like it didn't feel the same because like in New Brunswick everything was like so supportive and like, you know, everybody knew each other, everybody hung out, and like in New York it's really hard to like hang out, you know, like.
Now, do you think, and I don't know New York particularly well. I mean, I don't know any particular city, but I know New York is such a big city, so this may be a factor. But do you think it was more the specific city itself, or was it like the age groups of the people? Because I know that a lot of people.
It's hard to say, yeah. It's in my like early 20s, you know, and like.
It feels like everyone in their early 20s just gets like, goes internal and just goes like, I'm going to live my social life and not necessarily be part of something bigger than me.
That might be true. However, I like really wanted to be like part of like a scene or something, you know, like, but it just, I was unable to find such a thing, you know, like, and again, like I may have been not looking in the right place. I don't know. Like I was like so like weird and insecure back then too. Like that, like, I don't know, like probably nobody wanted to hang out with me. But like
that's your insecurity.
Right, yeah. But like I don't know. And then I moved to DC, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna weasel my way into yet another music scene. You know, it's just not happening. And I didn't even try. What I did was
what'd you do with your time?
Well, I you know, honestly, I'll tell you exactly what I did. I like got really, really into the like British shoegaze scene again, you know.
Okay.
I mean, like
you know that comes around.
Yeah. I mean, I was into that stuff like before I was into punk, and then like I used to use this like kind of file sharing program called SoulSeek, and they have like chat rooms where we can have some music, and like I would, you know, and I met people in there that I'm still friends with, you know, and like I learned I taught myself how to record, like I bought myself some gear, and like I taught myself how to record, and like recorded like, you know, a shoegaze album like of myself, like, you know, which
was it Soul Seek, like SOLE, because it was shoegaze?
No, it was like for all kinds of music.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I know. I can't think of a shitty pun. So I have a problem.
Yeah.
If a shitty pun pops into my head,
yeah,
it's gonna come out of my mouth. I can hold it for like 6 hours, but it'll still come out.
Dude, my brother has that same thing. I do not understand how like your minds work.
It's an epidemic.
Yeah, but no. Like I feel like it's like it's a thing. Like some people just have that. Like I don't know. It's like, you know, my brother, he's like hilarious, but like he can't not make a pun. You know, if there's a pun, like, you know, I don't know. Like it's I'm actually kind of impressed.
I know this is gonna bother
me that way at all. I never see them coming, honestly. You know.
All right. So did you move to DC for work? Was that the reason why?
I didn't have a job when I moved to DC because my boyfriend at the time got his like dream job working for the New Republic magazine down there. But yeah, but he was like a punk, also like a punk that was checked out of punk, you know, same as me.
Yeah.
But
you need to go into those things together.
Yeah. Anyway, but I don't know, like honestly, and then like I don't know, I did a bunch of, then I moved to Baltimore in 2008, but I still didn't even. But then there was a whole like, you know, 4 or 5 years that I like lived in Baltimore and didn't go to shows. Didn't like know anybody in the punk scene. What the hell did I do? I played roller derby for one thing. Also not recommended.
Oh no.
I mean, I broke my leg really bad. So like, you know, like, and I was like, well, you know, there's probably something I'm not really that good at roller derby. There's probably something I can do with my life. There's probably something I can do with my life that doesn't involve me getting seriously injured. So maybe I should do that instead. And then I don't know, I guess like, you know, I joined this one like punk and roll band, you know, type of thing. And just really like, but I didn't like write any songs. I just like played bass, and I was like, oh, it's really fun playing in bands. Huh. Shit, this is cool. Yeah. Well, shit, I should start a band. So I started this band. So I started Black Wolf Beach, this, you know, which I don't know if you've heard, but it's kind of like melodic punk type of stuff.
Okay, cool.
You know, I play guitar and I sing, and we actually, it was like a 4-piece, me and 3 bearded dudes. We all sang, you know. But you know, you might like it. It's cool. It's on Spotify and iTunes and all that.
What's it called again? You said that very fast.
Sorry, Black Wolf Beach.
Who am I to tell anyone they're talking too fast?
we came up with that name because we were like, what are the 3 most overused words in band names? And
dude, our this band I was in from, I guess, 2008 to like 2011 was this like straight up like rock and roll band.
Yeah.
And our singer, every song had the words train and then the phrase wind howling.
No
and so
way.
I took some songs we were working on. We just had instrumentals, and I recorded myself doing an impression of him. He sounds like Joe Cocker. So I did my best impression of him. Yeah, he was amazing. He's also good looking, but 0 work ethic. Go figure. The guy with the naturally good voice and the naturally good looks has no work ethic. He once told us we shouldn't get a Twitter because bands in the 90s didn't have to use Twitter to get successful.
Oh dear.
Pearl Jam. That's what we're working with here. But he like, so I just recorded over all our instrumentals, me singing just like the howling wind train, winds howling in the train. So that's my way of relating to that. Okay, Black Wolf Beach, that's awesome. All right, I'll check. Ooh, you have video?
Yeah, we've got some videos.
Cool. Oh, is that at Charm City Art Space? Yeah.
Oh okay. Yeah, we've got some stuff. You know, like basically. You know, like I think we were pretty good, and like we had a couple people in Baltimore that liked us. You know, our drummer moved to Los Angeles, which kind of makes it hard to continue to play. We're gonna. I think we actually played Hamden Fest last year though, and
nice.
And I don't know. And my other band, the Ginger Blossoms, who he also drum for. Yeah.
And what's the concept of the Ginger Blossoms?
The all redhead Gin Blossoms cover band.
Fucking unbelievable. Why are you not? I see you at comedy shows, but you do not do comedy. Why are you not doing comedy?
Because I'm not funny, but you know, like I could like
But you're
play.
interesting. That means more.
Okay, that's true.
Honestly.
I feel like I'm more of a like person that like laughs at comedy shows, not a person that makes jokes at comedy shows. How about that? I like comedy a lot.
That's actually good because comedians stop laughing very soon after they start doing it.
You know, it's
Like
funny.
that's
I used to have this. Well, I used to. He's still my friend. He just lives in Chicago, so I never see him. His name is Mark, and he was a stand-up comedian. You know, like but like you know, doing open mics and everything. You know, just like you guys do, and like.
like I
He always
started
had
to
this
and now I'm
really,
pretending I'm
really,
club.
really like loud, distinctive laugh that he would do, like during open mics, you know, and like he would just be laughing and stuff, and I'm like, that's not even funny, dude. Why are you laughing? He was like, you have to laugh. Like if you don't laugh, nobody else will laugh. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
That's
right.
what the guy. I don't know if you noticed last night. There was the host of the mic. Once the crowd started laughing, and you were there when they actually turned and started like responding to comedians. The host was laughing at everything as loud and as much as he could because he was like, "Let's keep this going."
Right.
Yeah.
It was kind
of
of
that's cool. So yeah. So so let me ask you this then. Let's go way back in time before we wrap up. What got you into? You said before you got into punk, you were into shoegaze. First off, what got you into? Let's call it alternative music.
Oh, I got a definite answer to this question. I actually like remember the date of this too. It was like August, let's say 21st, like 1991. I was in. It was like the summer between 8th and 9th grade, and I was like at my parents' house. It was a Saturday night, and I was at home like I was because I was a dork and didn't like have anything to do. So I think it was like after Saturday Night Live was over, and I'm flipping through the channels, and I came upon this thing, this show called Alternative Music Express, right? Yeah. And like and I'm like, what the hell is alternative music? She thought. And then what I ended up catching was like Smashing Pumpkins, their video for Shiva, off of the Gish record Gish, which is like a kind of like it's shot all dark and like people like rubbing like red paint or blood or something all over their faces, and I was like, this is kind of cool, but what the hell? Then the next thing was, okay, next up the new video from England's Ned's Atomic Dustbin, and I was like, Ned's Atomic Dustbin, that's a crazy name for a band, and that's not so I watched it, and there's a song Happy, and I was like this.
Yeah.
I just loved everything about it.
On the audio, Sue looked happy and amazed.
Yeah, true. Like, and I was like transfixed by it because not only did I think the song was really cool, I just loved like the aesthetics of everything. It was kind of like a tour video, you know what I mean? Just like a video of them goofing around on tour and playing shows, there's a million of these videos, but like they look so cool. They got such cool hair. I like the way they dressed. I like the way they sounded. They look dirty. They look like dirtbags, but they didn't look like super tough, and this is before like Nirvana and everything, like,
of course.
And like
you gave us the date, we know.
Yeah. So I was, so basically after that was it. I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I do now. And
that's
like,
amazing.
And it like seriously, my life changed. I went from being like somebody, I had no idea, I always liked music, but I didn't, that was the first thing that like super like clicked for me, and that after that, like I found out about, the show 120 Minutes on MTV, and like I would run home. It was on from like midnight to 2 a.m. on Sunday night. So I would tape it and then like run home from school on Monday and just like watch it, and then like and I remember seeing so many cool things that way, like I remember the first time I saw My Way Valentine and like Swerve Driver, Dinosaur Jr., all this stuff, anyway, like, so that's how I got into like cool music, and I was like, I'm obsessed with it,
So you really found it on your own, and that's like, no, and I think, by the way, I don't think it's a coincidence that you at that age were watching SNL going into, and then that's how you found it. You were already looking for alternative culture somewhere.
Sure.
Like, you just, that's really cool. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
You should, the video is called Happy by the band Ned's Atomic Dustbin. Watch it sometime. It's a pretty cool video.
Say that band name again.
Ned's Atomic Dustbin.
Atomic Dustbin. Man.
Yeah, they're from.
People don't even call it a dustbin anymore.
Yeah, they're from Birmingham,
That's
England.
why-
I actually flew to England in 2004 to see their reunion show.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I was gonna say it looks like they broke up in '98, but
Yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
they have two bass
Alright, well,
players,
so-
a lead bass and a rhythm
Really?
bass.
All right, well, I have to check. Wait, is
Yeah.
this punk music? What kind of? What genre?
It's more like it's called like I think the like grebo was the kind of style the British word for it. It was kind of like British indie stuff, like
Okay.
kind of
Okay.
like it's not
That's
punk
cool.
per se, but like kind of
Yeah.
like dirty sounding alternative stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I don't
When,
really know.
when I played, no, that makes sense. When I played bass in that rock and roll band, now I'm thinking about the two basses. Like that's where I went from like, because I studied jazz bass and
Oh, man,
and
so you're
rock
probably really
bass,
good,
but mostly
huh?
jazz bass, and probably not now. It's been like 5 years since I like proficiently did it. I'm lucky enough that enough people locally know me as a bassist that like when I have musician friends who want to record an album, they'll go, "Do you want to just jump on this album and play bass?"
Oh.
So I'm lucky to have done that a number of times.
Oh, good
But,
to
like,
know.
That's my humble brag, because you were like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, I bet you're good." I'm like, "Yeah, probably not," but I still need to tell you other people think I'm good.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, of course. But like, yeah. So, but I got during the time where I was in that rock band, or like straight up rock and roll band, I played with an amazing drummer, and I got very good at bass. Like that was like a time where I harnessed it. And but I found myself a lot of the times playing like I guess Kings of Leon had just gotten huge before we started. So like musically, about half the time we had like that kind of like almost like indie rock and roll kind of like music that they have. And I would end up playing so many like high up bass notes that were either like Kings of Leon or like Modest Mouse. They do a lot of high up bass notes.
Yep.
But there were so many songs where I was like, how the hell like I need to have that low end.
Who's holding it down? Somebody's got to hold it down.
And that's where you get your rhythm bass player. I should have asked that. Like somebody asked for an assistant. Like, I need a rhythm bass player if I'm going to operate.
Well, actually, you know, like me and a couple of local punks have been just like kicking around the idea of a Ned's Atomic Dustbin cover band for a while, you know, and you know, I'll think about you, you know, for the lead bass part, you know, because that stuff is hard. I would have to play rhythm bass. I can't play that stuff.
You can do it. You can do it. I could never play second bass than you. That's actually where second fiddle comes from. And what bands have two fiddles? Come on.
I don't know. Like, think about any orchestra.
Listen. Okay, dude. I have to make a confession. I don't exactly know what a fiddle is.
Oh.
What the hell is a fiddle?
You're lying.
No. Is that I know what it sounds like. Oh, is that just a different word for I always thought it was a different instrument.
No, dude, are you kidding me?
Well, who calls it a fiddle? That's like the most redneck violin.
Bluegrass musicians call it a fiddle.
Oh, right? That's right. I don't listen to that garbage. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't listen to it, but I don't think it's garbage.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're the same instrument. Like, shit, my mind might be blown too. Like,
I wonder if there's a
you're gonna check
Wikipedia? What if there's a place we can go?
God, if only there was some worldwide connected network of computers that could tell us these types of things.
I can't find fiddle, but I did find Tickets to Fiddler on the Roof if you're not doing anything in about 4 hours.
Definitely.
No, you are correct. It's a violin, but specifically when you're playing folk music. So you are very correct. All right, could you give us? It's me and then like my parents when they listen to this.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding. I have people who listen.
I didn't know that.
No, I know. You fucked up. This is all these confessions you've made. Could you give us? Actually, let me just ask you because I just want to know this. Were there any moments? Was the tour you just went on? Was that with both, or maybe it was a couple tours back? I forget the times. The one with was it Anti-Flag and Leftover Crack? Two of my high school.
That was when we just finished.
Oh yeah, that's what. Okay, that's what
Anti-Flag and Leftover Crack and Blackbird Realm and Homeless Gospel Choir.
God, that's so fucking cool. What a goddamn good tour.
It was a pretty good tour.
Were there any for someone knowing me as a huge like growing up? My like high school was inundated with Anti-Flag and Leftover Crack. Any fanboy stories for me that I might find cool that you saw them a bunch.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like
met them a few times. Yeah.
Okay.
Something for me.
They love,
basically.
Chris number 2 and Chris Head.
Mhm.
They both love hockey. Okay, they're both huge hockey fans, and
Fucking Pittsburgh Penguin fans.
I assume so. But I was at during the sound check for one of the I think it was the show in like San Francisco. They were both they were like playing songs, but they were both watching hockey on their iPads. Like they had just like propped on top of their amps. And then, like I took video of Chris Head just like standing there, just like playing, and then just like looking down. And then he would turn around and sing into the mic for a minute, and then like come back and look back.
I gotta do that thing where I yell, yeah. By the way, that's one of my favorite anti-flag things to do, and I discovered this by accident, is you just play the first couple seconds of every song on a record and see how over under half the record on how many times they start the song by yelling "yeah." It's almost always over half of it. Sorry, keep going.
And also I don't know. We hung out. Me and Nancy and Lucy, our merch person, got drunk with Justin Sane in Reno. And he ended up like buying drinks for everybody at the bar. And basically it was us. And then like a lot of like, I've never been to Reno. Reno's weird.
No,
he bought drinks for like every freaking person at this bar. And I think the tab turned out to be like $30 because like, that's what Reno was like. Anyway, I don't know. It was.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Seriously, like they are those guys. I have nothing but awesome things to say about every single one of them. They are like so freaking. They like not. They talk a lot, but they practice with the.
Yeah, they're for real. Well, that was something that really drew me to them when every other punk was like all the crust punk. Baltimore is a crust punk fucking haven.
Yeah.
And like half my hard time submissions are like crust punk this, crust punk that.
Right.
I know that so well. But like they like when I was in high school, like and everyone would like shit on Anti-Flag, I was like, but they're the real deal.
They are.
All those bands, you guys like just sit around and like do drugs. They don't actually do anything.
They actually really try to like help, and they are really interested in like I think it, their music for kids, fine. Good. Kids need music like that, and it's like it's.
It gets you
I wish
started
I listened to them when I was that age.
social
Honestly, like it would, like they're like super inspiring, and like I would, watch their set every damn night almost, on tour, and like they're great. Nothing but amazing things to say about that band, and like they covered Waiting Room every night on this tour.
That's cool.
Into Nazi Punks Fuck Off, saying like these two songs we would not exist as a band without these bands, I think it's awesome, when like they like because like I bet like because seriously there were like kids we're on the West Coast too. I guess Fugazi's not like such a thing on the West Coast, maybe, I don't know, but like there were there were plenty of kids that had that like it was obvious they were not familiar with the song Waiting Room, which damn.
I forget if it ended up leaking the website or not, but somebody pitched a Hard Times thing that was like punk. I forget what exactly it was, but it was something like punk archaeologists discover a second Fugazi song. Something like that. I forget exactly what it was.
That's hilarious.
They're geniuses. But just insane.
After all was that somebody you?
No, I wish it was. Oh my god, if that was me, I'd be plastering it everywhere. If I ever do comedy, and I find that the room just happens to be full of punks for whatever situation that would ever lead to, I would just bust out every one of my failed Hard Time submissions because they're usually funny. You just need to be so perfect and timely.
Right.
So it's like I literally have hundreds. So I have hundreds of punk themed like one-liners. But Justin Zane used to like stay around after every show and meet every single person and talk to everybody, and it was so so awesome. So awesome. Yeah. Oh my god, so awesome. I'd be terrible.
They are the best. Also, we learned. Also, Chris number 2 taught us a really fun game to play called Hanger Flex. In which you have like a coat rack with some hangers on it. You take the hanger and you spin it around like on the coat rack, on like, and it'll spin around, spin around, spin around, spin around. And if it like lands and stays, it doesn't fall on the floor, you win.
Yeah.
But it's really hard. Okay. But basically you just kind of like, everybody goes around and everybody gets a chance, and whoever gets it to stay wins. And it takes actually forever, but it's kind of really exciting to watch, like
I would lose hundreds of dollars.
It's a good way to kill time while you're waiting around for 3 hours to play like you are.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I'd lose a lot of money betting on people playing that game. That sounds like so much fun to have high stakes.
It's really fun. I have a video of number 2 playing it and to teaching us the rules, and I'll show it to you sometime.
Yes, please do. Are you kidding me? Well, unfortunately, and I could talk to you forever. I didn't even get a chance to talk about how I just learned how you were like a genius in several fields last night when we talked with Mike. But anytime you want to come on back on the podcast for anything, whether it's a group, really by yourself next time with Mike, whatever, I would love to have you on, and I'm sure we'll continue talking because I'll see you around. Awesome. But like, thanks so much for coming on. Please give us any of your plugs for your band or for any projects you're working on, and any shows coming up. This will be up hopefully next Monday or Tuesday.
Okay, cool. So Warren Women, we're playing a Metro Gallery in Baltimore on April 22nd. That's a Friday night, so you have no excuse not to go. And it's with World Inferno Friendship Society.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and they are my buddies from New Jersey.
Oh, really?
So cool. And we've been trying to set up, like, they played one of their very first shows in my basement in New Brunswick.
Jesus Christ!
I've been friends with those guys forever, and
they're really, really talented.
Yeah, and it is
insane.
It is so cool that we're finally actually making this work. We've been trying to play shows with them. We've been trying to set it up. It hasn't worked out. Finally, we made it work, and we're all really psyched about it. And then we are going on tour with a little band called Flag. That's like Black Flag, but like the one without Greg in.
I was gonna say the one that doesn't have a cease and desist order for using the name Black Flag.
It's a good Black Flag, and so we're gonna, and it's gonna be like an East Coast tour. It starts in Cleveland, Ohio on like I think June 22nd, and we're gonna come through. We're not playing Baltimore, but we are playing DC at the Black Cat. I think,
cool.
Like, I don't know the exact date, but
it's actually just for that show. They're just calling it Cat.
Yeah. So. Nice. But yeah, it should be really fun. So like, hopefully I get to see somebody at that show. Anybody. I don't
know. Well, so I will try to make it. I'll tell my daughter. She just turned 1. I'll tell her, listen, Daddy can't be around as much because he needs to go listen.
Dude, just bring her to the show, but get her those big little kid earmuffs.
In 3 or 4 years, my wife's gonna think that I'm home with her. I'm like, no, you go out, and then you're gonna see us in like the DVD special features of some like punk show or something, and it's just like, or in the news with neglectful parent lets baby cry.
Yeah, neglectful parent. That's awesome. Yeah, you got to start them young, I think. Right? That's the.
I will. I'm already like. Well, right now I've been singing her dirty versions of clean songs. Oh. That's been working really well. I feel like that's you got to get them in somehow.
Right.
Okay, so where can we find the music of War on Women? Where's the preferred way?
We're on Bridge 9 Records. So you can search for us on the Bridge 9 website. We're also on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. We also
definitely check out your live videos on YouTube.
Yeah,
Any live video is such a good live.
We also have this one really cool video for the song called "Say It." If you want to search for that one, I feel like that song has a pretty cool video with a pretty important message, and I would love for people to watch it. So yeah, "Say It" is the name of the song. Just search for War on Women, Say It. She'd find it, hopefully. Anyway, everything else is garbage. I'm just kidding.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. For anyone listening, you can find more podcasts like this at erictriestoohard.com. You can also find me on Facebook at Eric Tries Too Hard, on YouTube at Eric Tries Too Hard, on Twitter at Eric Tries. And I think that's it. Subscribe on iTunes. The thing I should have started with and probably ended with. Yeah, subscribe on iTunes.
I think we try like just the right amount of hard.
Well, now, thank you. I appreciate that. It wasn't how it used to be. This was this podcast name is a defense tactic where if you hear my first like 50 to 60 episodes, it's brutal. Yeah. My personality
is like 80 hours before you get any kind of decent podcast out of there, right? God damn.
Yeah. That's why like I do all these, and there's a modest audience, but it's like, it's not like I'll put out stuff where I know it's like maybe up to 200 people will listen to this, or even something esoteric where I do like, okay, we're talking about Anti-Flag. I'm stockpiling these to release all at like one big chunk. I'm doing a series called Too Much Information, where I basically take a 4-minute song or 4-minute comedy bit, and I talk about it for upwards of an hour.
I love
like just break down every little thing. And one of the things I'm going to do is there's an Anti-Flag song. I'm even forgetting what it's called, to be completely honest, but it's like it's on their album Bright Lights of America. It is the final track. It's just a straight up folk song, not even folk punk, other than the vocals. And Chris number two sings it, and it's like this whole thing about him describing. It's like him being a character back in like decades ago, and getting tarred and feathered in almost colonial America. I forget if it was colonial America or if it was like a Red Menace, Red Scare, whatever it was. And then at the very end of it, he says, he kind of like reveals what the song's really about, where he says, and all that pain wasn't, I'm messing up the line, I forget the exact line, but it's like, basically it was like, and that pain wasn't nearly as bad as losing you. And so the whole time he's just like, it's a sweet song because he's just describing how heartbroken he is. And he goes, going through all that was like, nah, that's nothing compared. But it's still, I'm telling you, great song, and I'm going to talk about it for a damn year.
Anti-Flag does that too, right? They have like commentary tracks to their records.
No, but I'm going to look that up. Oh, another Anti-Flag. This is why I think like every time I'm hanging out with you, like you've literally had to like be pulled away, or me, or whatever. Usually you, because we will just keep talking about so many common interests with the fucking the Anti-Flag thing. Don't care. Commentary. They have commentary on the thing. I lost it. I don't care. I'll tell you next time I see you. Whatever.
And I'll find. And if you can't find it, I'll find it. You know.
Okay. Oh, and I found it in my head. The thing. There are one of the coolest things about YouTube and all these old videos getting uploaded. You can find performances and interviews from bands, like punk bands, way before they got successful. It's back when they were a 3-piece. Anti-Flag has this video of them playing some dive bar in front of 6 people.
Oh boy.
Maybe 7. And it's a full set. It's basically everything off of Die for Your Government. It's like them just playing that record to nobody. And they're putting on a great show. They have a whole different bass player and singer, and they're just crushing it. And then they do like an hour-long interview, and you can find that too. And the interview is just them sitting at a table, and they're very young. And
so it's
you
Justin
can hear
Pat and like some other bass player.
And I forget what his name was. Andy Flag. That's what his name was. Okay. Yeah. So it's the original lineup before they took like a hiatus and then came back with a 4-piece, or at least replaced him with Chris number 2. But in the interview, it's so cool to watch because they're young and they sound like me, maybe you, but like every dumbass punk who thought they had all the answers when they were like 18 years old.
Oh yeah.
And it's them just trash like questions like, so what do you think about bands like, this is, we're talking probably like, early 90s. And they're like, so what do you think about bands like The Clash? And they'll be like, they're all right. They're old stuff. Only the old stuff. Not even referencing an album. They just like every band they bring up, like only the old stuff.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I would love to watch that. And then make fun of them about it someday.
Because we were all like, you all had to go most people in their life never go through that phase. And I feel like they don't evolve past it. And so like, that's why you have people in their 20s now. You see all these people I agree with their views, but I feel like they're morons because they're stuck in the whole like, I'm right and you're wrong.
Oh man.
I'm enlightened and there's no compromise.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I definitely felt like, I definitely went through that phase, and I definitely realized that was not right to, the
amount of times I must have said the phrase, let me tell you why you're a racist.
Right.
Even if
Oh
it was
man,
true,
yeah.
there's a time and a place, and it's not when you to your girlfriend's mom when she's dropping you off because you're 15.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh my God, I know, I know, I know. I definitely had no sense of humor for a really long time. But
Oh
you know,
God,
I
yeah.
think I got it back a little bit. Um,
I think you did too. All right, sweet. Well, speaking of sense of humor, hopefully we'll see you at some comedy.
yeah,
If
definitely.
not, I
I hope I
promise
get to
I will
see you
try
at
to
the
come to
punk
a War on
shows.
Women show.
All right,
Yes,
awesome.
yes. I'm trying to get back out. All right. Thank you. So good talking to you. Check out War on Women and everything that Sue Werner is involved in. I will see you very soon.
Okay, bye.